Hello guys and welcome to MotorBeam. This is the Ducati Monster and specifically the Monster Plus. In today's video, I'll tell you the specific reasons why you should consider this to be your next middleweight upgrade. Before we begin, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Number one reason is the design of this motorcycle. If you look at it, it does not look like the Monster as the Monster used to be, because this Monster is different than the older Monster, and the main difference with this Monster than the older Monster is basically the trellis frame. There was too many monsters there, but then this Monster does stand out because it looks very unique. It has a very potent design of a naked street fighter, and then this one has become compact, it has become small, and it still looks attractive with those red wheels. Now there is a fact that you've got all LED lights all around, but then does your middleweight have this? Flowing indicators, baby, not just at the front, on the back too. Look at the dimensions. This motorcycle is actually quite small, but then the best part is the ergonomics for the rider, because it is very accessible for smaller riders. Once you hop onto this motorcycle, the seat height is at 820 mm, but you don't feel that height as much, and the best part is the foot pegs are center set, and for any kind of rider this motorcycle is still comfortable, unless you are about 6 feet 4 inches, which will make you like unnecessary tall. You get the multi-strada. This is perfect for average Indian heighted rider, and the ergonomics are quite nice. Another reason is the instrument cluster on offer. Well, this cluster is quite small compared to the multi-strada, but it has a ton of information, as well as the switch gear is quite usable. However, you don't get a joystick, but the switches feel quite nice. Adding more to this motorcycle is the electronic package, which is on offer across all the variants. Now make note of this. You get 3 riding modes with 3 levels of power and 4 levels of wheelie control, 8 levels of traction control, 3 levels of ABS, and I can go on and on, because you get a hydraulic clutch, you get an electronic throttle, plus you get a quick shifter which is standard across all the variants, and it is bi-directional. The heart of the matter over here, 937cc L-twin, or I can say the 90-degree V-twin motor, which we have seen on the multi-strada 950, produces 111 horsepower and 93 Nm of torque. Now this motor is actually too much for this kind of a motorcycle, because this motorcycle only weighs 188 kgs. Considering the weight, this is one of the lightest motorcycles, and the engine has so much power on offer that the traction control keeps kicking in all the time, because this motorcycle just wants to lift all the way. The engine is still tractable in the mid-range, but the low end is not that great. So if you are riding in traffic situations, you might have a bit of a problem. Otherwise, if you see an open road, you will just enjoy this motor like crazy. Plus, this has a very throaty exhaust note. It has a typical Ducati note, but it does sound quite nice once you open up. Now if you're hearing this, it has a soft limiter. I'll just have to pull the stand up. My goodness, I seriously don't know how Ducati manages to do this, but this, for such a category of motorcycle, is so freaking loud. Now this motorcycle does look very attractive, but the only thing, the major thing that you might back off from is the price. This one comes at an on-road cost of 14 lakh rupees. Yes, for a naked motorcycle of this category, a middleweight per se, 14 lakhs seems to be a bit too much. So if you are ready to pay that much of money for this kind of a motorcycle, for the Monster Plus, you do get this visor up front. There was a cowl behind for the pillion seat, but it's been taken off for the review purpose. Then again, carbon parts over here, carbon at the back also. But then Ducati has skimmed on a few things. Number one being that you don't get front adjustable suspension in any of the variants. The brakes have very good feedback, but they are not top of the line. They are not M50s, they are M432s. Tires are also not the Super Corsa, you get Diablo Rosso 3. And then overall, this motorcycle feels like it is made for city and it does the duty quite well. The rear suspension is adjustable, but that is only for preload. That said, that was a fuel pump kicking in because the key is on. This motorcycle feels a little bit overpriced for the hardware that's on offer. In my 2 days of riding, I've been getting close to only 16 to 17 kilometers per liter, and if you ride it sanely, the best you will get is close to 19 kilometers per liter from this motorcycle. Best of best, 20 at the max. But then again, you don't enjoy this motorcycle as much, and if you're gonna enjoy this, you can't get a good mileage, and with a 14 liter fuel tank, the riding range is only close to 200 kilometers. You do get adjustable levers for both the brake as well as the clutch. You get a hydraulic clutch too, but then again the clutch is a little bit heavy. And the last thing which bothers me a bit is the pillion seat, because it is a very small seat. While the seat is quite comfortable, there is no space for pillion as much, and there is no grab rail either. So if you have a pillion, they have to hang on to you, otherwise you can't have fun. Provided that you are having a girlfriend or a wife taken around, you will love this, she will love this. Otherwise, not as much. The ground clearance of this motorcycle is actually quite nice, but you don't get any kind of a belly cover or anything like that. And the big thing is that the exhaust and the oil filter is right sitting at the base, so it is quite exposed. So if you hit any kind of bad bump, although that won't be a problem because of the good ground clearance, but if it happens, there is a bit of a risk. So you might want to look out for some kind of a bash plate coming down below. The trellis frame, which was standard for the Ducati Monster, used to come right over here and cover the complete motorcycle. Basically the engine and everything used to sit inside of it. Right now the chassis has been replaced by an aluminum alloy, which is basically a monocoque frame. But then again, if you see, this part of the frame is basically a plastic. I don't know the exact term for it, but it is a hardened plastic unit which is very, very strong, almost as strong as steel. Only thing is that you get a good amount of weight save. That said, this motorcycle does feel quite light, easy to ride, and it is a very, very sleek motorcycle. So if you are upgrading from a Duke 390 or maybe an RR 310, basically you don't have to jump to only a 650. You can actually get this almost a liter class motorcycle, because this is almost a liter class. At 14 lakh rupees, this motorcycle does seem to be a stretch. You might not get the best hardware on offer, but then again the electronics package and everything seems very nice, making this motorcycle very, very easy to ride even for a newbie. If we consider the competition, there's only one that comes very close to this, actually better than this at a cheaper cost, and that is the Street Triple RS. But then if you want something exquisite, the Monster is here for you. At the end of this review, I'll only say this motorcycle is Mamma Mia. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.